Shannon Sharpe told her that if she would lose enough weight for him, he would buy her some artificial breasts. Now that's very puzzling to me, Art, because she's already extra skinny.
Yes, I told that Shannon Sharpe, leave that white.
He really want a 17-year-old, but he can't. He f*** a 18-year-old, a 20-year-old. So here it is, he at the gym, working out. He's showing up at the gym with them big old black legs.
I'm grateful I'm not 56 and trying.
Are you trying to say what you trying to say?
I'm looking right at you.
I
ain't backing down. You better take your old and get somebody to love you.
Damn, Mo!
Shannon Sharpe is heated after Monique put him on blast during her comedy set, clowning him hard over his messy $50 million legal battle with that OnlyFans model. The crowd went wild, the clip exploded online, and now Shannon's tight, real tight. Sources close to him say he's shocked. He thought his celebrity circle would have his back. Instead, he's getting roasted left and right. But fans ain't forgetting. Monique warned him months ago on Club Shay Shay. She told him plain and simple, stop running after women who only see dollar signs. She even said, find someone your speed, not someone who sees you as a paycheck. But Shannon didn't take her seriously. He brushed her off like it was just jokes. Now the joke's on him. His whole image is under fire. And even if he beats this lawsuit, the damage is already done.
You don't need no 26-year-old girl. You don't need no 36-year-old girl.
I know.
That $100 million podcast deal, shaky, sponsors dipping, friends ghosting him. And people want to know, what exactly did Monique say this time that's got Shannon this pressed? And more importantly, why is he mad at her when she literally tried to help him avoid all this?
Yes, I told that Shannon Sharpe, leave that white.
Thing is, a lot of folks were caught off guard when that lawsuit news hit. But Monique, she saw it coming a mile away. She'd already told Shannon straight up, chasing young girls could get him in a situation like this. He laughed it off like it was all love. Now look, after everything blew up with that OnlyFans model, fans couldn't wait to hear Monique's reaction. And she didn't hold back. She lit up the stage during Cat Williams' Heaven on Earth tour and reminded everyone, I tried to tell him, he ain't want to listen. And truth be told, Monique just said what everybody else has been whispering. Shannon walked himself into this mess. For real. After the lawsuit dropped, folks dug up her Club Shay Shay interview from back in February 2024. And point blank, stop dating girls young enough to be your daughter. You need a grown woman who knows her worth and ain't trying to hustle you. That clip started flying across the internet, and suddenly folks realized Monique wasn't being messy back then. She was giving real game. Now, Monique's always been one of those no-filter types. Some people vibe with her boldness, others say she's too blunt. But this time, even her critics are saying she hit the nail on the head. It's clear she was calling Shannon out with love, trying to steer him clear of drama. But instead of listening, Shannon just sat there chuckling, acting like it was all in fun.
Guess what the two teams that call me on say, what's your phone number, where you gonna be?
Who that?
Shut the f*** up.
And kept doing the same thing. Now he's in deep. And Monique's words hit way different. Fast forward a year, and Shannon Sharpe's whole world is crashing down. He's out at ESPN, possibly facing a multi-million-dollar payout from that lawsuit, and now people are pulling up receipts. That Club Shay Shay interview, Monique called it. One fan even said, Monique can crack a joke, but she don't lie. Another wrote, Shannon Baldhead should have listened instead of laughing. Now look at him, crying on the way to the bank. And the internet's not done dragging him. Someone else added, Shannon Sharpe got what was coming. I don't know who was advising him in private, but on camera, he had 3 guests tell him his dating life was a mess. Cat Williams, Monique, and even Lil Yachty tried to school him. But even after losing a major gig and getting dragged into court, Shannon still ain't seeing the bigger picture. Insiders are saying he flipped when he saw Monique turning his legal drama into comedy gold during her latest stand-up set. Word is he feels betrayed. He thought his celeb friends would defend him. But that didn't happen, not even close. The silence from his inner circle, loud. Almost nobody stepped up to say anything good about him, and people are saying that speaks volumes. Folks just aren't rushing to back Shannon because this lawsuit feels like the final blow in a long line of bad decisions. Let's be real. Shannon's name has been tied to controversy for years now, and lately, more of his past behavior is being exposed, and it's not looking good. One clip that's blowing up right now shows Shannon completely losing it on camera during the April 30th episode of Nique. While talking about the 2025 NFL draft, he suddenly snapped, looked off screen and screamed, "Shut the F off." People were shook, but that's not even the worst of it. Shannon's also catching heat for comments he made about his daughter's weddings. On another Nightcap episode with Ocho Cinco, they were talking wedding budgets, and Shannon said he'd cap each of his daughters at $30,000. And he wasn't joking either. He straight up laughed and said they could serve spaghetti and fried fish at the reception instead of spending on fancy food. Mind you, this is the same man who reportedly offered that OnlyFans model $10 million to keep quiet. But for his own daughters, just $30K and a fish fry? People are calling it out as cold, stingy, and straight up out of touch. Between the lawsuit, losing his job, and wild takes like this, Shannon's public image is looking rough.
Hey, my daughter's a budget. You got a budget. I don't get whatever you do after that.
What number, I mean, I don't want to be in your business, but what number you said?
30,000.
Okay. So you can have a wedding with 30,000?
I don't know what you can have. I ain't the one getting married. I don't give a damn. Hey, they better go get one of them on Hey, y'all from the South, y'all know about that fried catfish and spaghetti plate? Hey, I know somebody hooked that thing right on up. What they charge by the plate? $10.50 a head. Spaghetti, fried catfish, a piece of cornbread, and a styrofoam cup of sweet tea. That's all you get. Man, I'm not finna go. Hey, just because they daddy somebody. Oh hell, no, man, I wish I might.
It didn't take long for fans to start tearing Shannon apart after hearing his wild wedding comments, especially after those leaked texts dropped. People are straight up shocked, saying Shannon admitted he was paying that OnlyFans model $25,000 per cheek, and yet he's only offering his own daughter $30,000 for her entire wedding. The internet's on fire with that one.
And just one more thing about Mr. Sharpe. Not so sharp, clearly. It is my theory, just my opinion, my theory, not fact, my opinion. I think all of this RACE rhetoric that was in those text messages started with him. It started with him. It's becoming more and more clear to me, in my opinion, that he has a race fetish. He has a fetish for that type of dynamic. Think about it. This was a 19-year-old white woman when he met her. I don't know any 19-year-old white woman that's running around hollering about a big black baby and baby gravy. Shannon was a 54-year-old big black grown man from the backwoods of Georgia. Gravy sound like some he's familiar with. Big black babies, he probably seen a few in his day. Born in the backwoods of Georgia where he grew up with his grandma and all the other folks. But I just don't think that came from her. Now, is she repeating it back in those text messages? Yes, that's why he released her messages, not his. Peep that, okay? We haven't seen what his responses was. And I guarantee you, when they post those messages, y'all gonna see. All of that race started with him. It's a fetish. And he could only play that kind of stuff out with a young girl. He couldn't, like Monique was trying to tell him, get an older gal. Older gal ain't going for that. They was going to immediately know he was a freak and a weirdo. A 19-year-old don't know no better. That's why she repeated it back to him, because he said it to her first. Older men, that's why they tend to want to be with younger women. They're more impressionable. They can mold them. They can shape them to be what they want them to be. Do what they want them to do. You let him come to a 40 or 50-year-old woman talking about put a big black baby and baby gravy. We gonna be looking like, what's wrong with you? Yeah, that started with him. Mark my words, it's gonna come out. But that race stuff started with Shannon.
One fan tweeted, "This needed to come out. Shannon's been fronting. Now the mask is off. He'll drop millions on an ex-worker, but his daughter got to settle for spaghetti and folding chairs. He's done out here." And just when you thought it couldn't get messier, it does. Fans are now calling out Shannon for allegedly being deep into some twisted Raceplay situation with Gabriella, the OnlyFans model. In one of those leaked messages, Gabriella said she wanted Shannon to put a big black baby in her, super cringe and racially charged. But here's the thing. Shannon didn't share his side of that convo, and fans are convinced that kind of talk didn't come out of nowhere. They're saying Gabriella was just following his lead and doing what he paid her to do. People are raising eyebrows asking, was Shannon out here requesting that kind of language as part of some fetish? Because this ain't just about bad choices anymore. It's starting to look real disturbing. And now, even more questionable stuff is coming to light. Old clips are resurfacing where Shannon talks about women in a way that's got fans majorly uncomfortable.
Nah, I was once dating this chick, right, Skip, and she was married, but she was getting a divorce. I knew I wanted her. I said, you know what? I'll pay for the divorce because I believe she was the one. That's what I did. I said, why you arguing about this? He wouldn't sign the papers. I said, why you arguing about this little bit of money? I gave her the money, filed the divorce because I believe. I keep it 100 with y'all here, Skip, but I did that.
In one viral video, he says he was so obsessed with a woman, he paid for her divorce because he thought she was the one. Paid her way out of a whole marriage. But again, his own daughter has to pinch pennies on her big day. Then there's another clip that left even Deion Sanders speechless. Shannon went off the rails telling some explicit story about a woman he was with, and fans were not feeling it. The comments are full of people saying, "This is exactly why I stopped watching the Shannon and Ocho show. Nobody want to hear his freaky old man stories." Especially not coming from someone pushing 60. Now, the backlash isn't just coming from fans. People in the industry are chiming in too. Dr. Umar went in saying point blank, even if this lawsuit ends up being a money grab, Shannon still messed up by even being involved with a 19-year-old. He said Shannon should have caught the red flag the moment Gabriella refused to sign an NDA. That should have been the moment he walked away. Instead, Shannon kept pushing forward, and now it's all coming back to haunt him. After everything that's come out, fans ain't shedding a single tear for Shannon Sharpe, and they definitely don't think he has any right to be mad. She didn't roast him out of nowhere. She tried to help him, gave him real advice on Club Shay Shay, and warned him straight up. But Shannon, he laughed it off and kept living reckless. Now that it's all blowing up in his face, folks are saying this ain't bad luck, it's the fallout from his own choices. And according to the latest reports, the fallout is getting real heavy. Gabriella is demanding $50 million in damages, and people are wondering if Shannon's even got it like that.
You would think that in the aftermath of all of these cases that's going on, that Shannon Sharpe or any black male celebrity for that matter will conduct themselves in a more responsible manner. So what do we know about this situation? According to Gabriella Zuniga, she met Shannon Sharpe at a gym in Los Angeles approximately 2 years ago, 2023. Now, Shannon alleges that he tried to present her with an NDA, non-disclosure agreement, which every celebrity should require from anyone they engage with. Well, guess what, Art? She decides she's not going to sign the NDA. That right there was a warning to Shannon Sharpe that this 19-year-old, who you shouldn't be dating anyway because of her age, because of her race, you need to end this. If she don't want to sign an NDA dating a celebrity, you know what that means. That means if this doesn't go her way, she's going to expose you. Shannon Sharpe should have ended it right there. The problem was she fit his type. Obviously, Uncle Shay Shay, he likes Caucasian women, as we all know, and he likes them very skinny, which I didn't know. And the reason I'm saying that is the pictures that are floating around the internet on Gabrielle Asu Ninjas is the pictures of a very petite Caucasian woman who, not being disrespectful when I say this, appears to be built like a 13, 14, 15-year-old child. And according to her, allegedly, Shannon Sharpe told her that if she would lose enough weight for him, he would buy her some artificial breasts. Now, that's very puzzling to me, Art, because she's already extra skinny, extra petite, no booty, no breasts, no nothing. Why would you want her to lose any more weight? So from that, we can gather that Shannon Sharpe's type is an extra pale, extra skinny Caucasian. He definitely don't like them 5'5", thick in the thighs like Dr. Umar. He don't want butter almond, he don't want butter pecan, he don't want fudge, cinnamon, mahogany. He don't even want African vanilla, African butterscotch, African lemonade. He wants some pale and skinny. I want him brown chocolate and curvy.
So after everything...
Estimates put his net worth around $30 million, not enough to cover that kind of payout without taking a serious financial hit. Let's break it down. Shannon made about $22.5 million during his NFL days. His biggest check came from the Ravens, $5 million as part of a $13.8 million deal. These days, he's pulling in around $10 million a year between podcasts, brand deals, his media work, and his luxury cognac brand, Le Portier. But even with all that, he's still trailing behind his First Take co-host, Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A's net worth sitting at a cool $45 million, and he just locked in a massive $100 million 5-year deal that put him right behind Tom Brady as one of the highest paid sports analysts in the game. Now here's where things get wild. Shannon was on the verge of scoring his own $100 million bag before everything went sideways.
Your ESPN contract.
Yes, sir.
Just 3 days before Gabriella filed that lawsuit, Front Office Sports reported that Shannon was deep in talks to sign a game-changing podcast deal. This would have covered all his Shishi media shows: Club Shay Shay, Nightcap with Chad Johnson, Club 520, The Bubba Dub Show, and Humble Baddies. It was looking like Shannon was finally about to cash in big. And then, boom, lawsuit hits. Now that deal is on hold, and nobody knows if it'll still go through. If it falls apart, that's a huge loss. Not just in dollars, but in momentum and reputation, in everything he built. And the worst part? That $50 million lawsuit's still hanging over him. If he ends up losing that case, fans are wondering if he's even got enough stacked up to survive it without going broke. For someone who was this close to leveling up into the top tier of sports media, it's looking like one mistake might cost him everything. Let's get one thing straight. Even if Shannon Sharpe loses this case, Gabriella might not walk away with the full $50 million she's asking for. Civil lawsuits involving situations like this are hard to win, especially when things get murky between what was consensual and what's being claimed as something else. There's even a chance Shannon comes out of this without paying a single cent. But here's the catch. Even if Shannon does win in court, the damage is already done. His name's been dragged, the receipts are out, and people are not forgetting those disturbing text messages. Or that audio clip where he was allegedly threatening to choke someone. That stuff sticks. This ain't just a legal battle. It's a reputation crisis. People have now gotten a glimpse at how Shannon allegedly behaves behind closed doors, and win or lose in court, that image is out there. And in today's world, perception is everything. Big companies like Disney, who owns ESPN, don't just look at court rulings. They care about how you trend. And right now, Shannon is trending for all the wrong reasons. They don't want their brand tied to controversy, and Shannon's name is starting to look like a risk no one wants to take. Even if he's legally cleared, corporate suits might still keep their distance. Of course, there's always a chance for a comeback. People love a redemption story. Shannon's got a solid fan base, and he's worked hard to build his name in media. But let's be real, that road to redemption just got longer and way rougher because of the choices he made. He ignored every warning. Monique tried to steer him right. Cat Williams gave him game. Even Lil Yachty hinted he was wildin'. But Shannon surrounded himself with yes men and kept diving headfirst into messy situations he had no business getting involved with. Now he's paying the price, not just financially, but in credibility, trust, and future opportunities. And even if the court lets him walk free, the court of public opinion is way harder to win back. Shannon Sharpe seriously fumbled when he got mixed up with that young OnlyFans model, and it ain't just about the age difference. The real issue is the messy power dynamic and the strange racial undertones in their interaction. That kind of stuff raises red flags everywhere, especially with major companies like Disney watching closely. Let's be real. They don't want any part of that tied to their brand. So what do you think? Can Shannon really bounce back from all this mess? Or has the damage already cut too deep? And what about Monique? Is Shannon right to be mad she's using his situation for laughs on stage? Or is it fair game, considering she literally tried to warn him before it all went down? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We want to hear what you think about this whole situation. Don't forget to like, share, and hit that subscribe button so you never miss the tea. We've got way more coming your way, and you don't want to miss it. Catch you in the next one.